Good morning. I'd like to share with you a few topics to help you to overcome the most common problems people face when they are learning a foreign language, particularly English language. We look at how you can become a more fluent speaker of English and at the same time at the skills you need to improve in order to be, effective communicator in English. So we focus in eight different topics. The first one, how to become a confident speaker. We know that confidence is an important element in learning to speak a language. Many learners worry that they are going to make mistake or the people who is listening will not understand them. So, how you can relax? Can you relax when you are speaking English and sound more confident when you want to speak? So, the first thing you need to practice often. The more often you speak, the easier it becomes. You have to try to think of people you can talk to English or places in your town where you can meet people who speak English a lot. You need to put yourself in a position where you need to speak. How about, for instance, joining a club or going to an English conversation class like, Unitre, University in Milan. You need to relax and think about the message you want to convey. It's easier to become nervous if you only focus on grammar rules when you are speaking. But you have to remember that what you want to say is more important than how you say it. The key is to relax when you are speaking, is to talk about something which you find really interesting. Speaking is easier when you have something to say and you are joining a conversation. Another suggestion is rehearse what you want to say. If you are very nervous, so you have to try to practice saying what you want to say to yourself a few times. So, planning a rehearsal can make you speaking more confident. Remember, however, that you need to think about the person who is listening to you. What are they likely to say in response? About this strategy, I'd like to tell you an anecdote, and it's about, you know, when I was working for Deloitte Consulting. You have to apologize me if, I tell you something about this experience because it was a valuable experience for during my working life. So we used to have a meeting every third Friday of each month. In fact, it was called Third Friday Meeting. In this meeting, many persons were involved in, presentations, telling the story of their project, other kind of experiences. And at the very beginning of the meeting, usually our managing director, he was a very tall man, was coming from New York. No, sorry, from San Francisco, California, United States. In spite he was a native speaker, he used to rehearse the presentation he was about to present. He used to repeat. He had a small laptop, the first series of a laptop in that period, and he used to repeat in a corner of the room the presentation he was about to deliver. So think about it. A second topic is a dramatic question every person who wants to speak English asks himself or herself: fluency or accuracy? Speaking English fluently is a goal for many learners of English. Fluence means be able to communicate your idea without having to stop and think too much about what you are saying. However, many learners also have the goal of spoken accuracy. Speaking accurately means that you speak without errors of grammar, vocabulary, and also pronunciation, misspelling some English word, which is more important and more difficult. So, which is more important and more difficult for you? It might depend on how you have learned English in the past. Here is a short interview a Chinese guy has released to a British newspaper. I have learned English for almost 15 years. I have no problem with reading and listening, but speaking has always been a problem for me because I was at school. When I was at school, we always focus ourselves on grammar, on vocabulary, and exams. Now, I really want to improve my spoken English, to reach a new level, to achieve that freedom in speaking in the near future. I could try anything to help me to achieve this. So, which is more important, fluency or accuracy? If, like this Chinese guy, you have a very strong focus on accuracy, on getting the grammar and vocabulary correct, you may find that you worry about making mistakes. This can make you, feel shy about speaking English, and the result is that your spoken fluency might not improve. This means that although you know English well, you might not be able to have a conversation, to have a fluent conversation. On the other hand, you may be someone who really likes to talk, and you are willing to try out a language even though you make mistakes. This can help you sound very fluent. However, if you make too many mistakes, which you do not stop to fix, you do not stop to correct, you can find that it's difficult to make other people understand your idea. So, speaking language will require both fluency and accuracy. So, how can you make sure that you develop both? The first thing you have to do is to identify your learning style and to ask yourself a question: what kind of a learner am I? You have to think about a situation in which you have used English and how you felt about making a mistake. Is being correct when you speak the most important thing for you? Or do you always take risks, try out new language even though it might not be correct? So, the first step towards improving your English is recognizing what is easier for you and then working on what is difficult. So, you have to focus on one area at a time. When you speak English, do you notice any mistake which you may make quite often? Maybe you make mistake with tenses or with question forms. Or do you sound slow as if you are always searching the word and correct grammar? Next time you speak with your friend, you have to try to work out on the problem you have noticed. Is fluency. Try to focus on making sure your friend understands what you have said, not on avoid mistakes. If you have a problem with tenses, try to correct yourself only when you make a tense error. Don't think about other mistakes. By choosing an area to work on, you can help yourself overcome problems. The last suggestion is vary your practice. If you are a member of English class or learning circle, make sure you vary the types of activity you do so that you get practice both in fluency and accuracy. Discussion are good fluency activity as long as you don't stop each time a mistake is made.